the 17 stages of the hero's journey per Joseph Campbell. And so first, let me just go through them all, and then we'll go through the descriptors of both. So here's the diagram of the hero's journey in its 17 stages, its 17 parts. Departure, so we have the call to adventure. 2, refusal of the call. 3, supernatural aid. 4, crossing of the first threshold. 5, the belly of the whale. Initiation, the road, so initiation section now. 6, the road of trials. 7, the meeting with the goddess. 8, woman as the temptress. 9, atonement with the Father. 10, apotheosis. 11, the ultimate boon. 12, refusal of the return. And I should say at 12 we get to the return section. 12, refusal of the return. 13, the magic flight. 14, rescue from without. 15, the crossing of the return threshold. 16, master of two worlds. And 17, freedom to live. So those are the 17 stages within the diagram of the hero's journey. You have the ordinary world up top, the unknown world at the bottom. You see kind of like the iceberg setup. And as you see, look, 17 phases of hero's journey and 17 phases on a hero's journey. They both equal 137 in English reduction. Remember, the 33rd prime, the backbone of it all. Remember, our spine has 33 columns, so it's all aligning. It all matches. And so now let's get into the specific stages of each of the 17 with a little bit of descriptors. The call to adventure. The hero is living within their ordinary world, but receives some sort of calling to change their life and enter the unknown. And I should say, while this concept comes up in movies about heroes, stories, and stuff like that, heroes, brave people, people who have taken chances. Remember, these stories are here for all humans. You know, everyone is a hero in their own journey. Everybody on earth goes through these certain steps at some point for whatever goal they're trying to achieve. So, you know, sometimes your goals aren't as extravagant as others, but that doesn't mean you're not on a path. That doesn't mean you're not on a journey. You're not climbing your own mountaintop. So I need to get that out of the way now. This is all symbolically representing the individual. And the individual is every person on earth. We all go through our hero's journey at some point in multiple different ways. So keep that in mind. Number 2, the refusal of the call. The hero turns away from their calling because they feel some sort of obligation to stay where they are, or fear they are not brave, smart, strong, etc. enough to begin the journey. Supernatural aid. When they agree to heed the call to adventure, the hero's guide or mentor, often magical, wise, or superhuman in some way, appears or becomes known. So that's the supernatural way, the mystic. Usually you see the mystic come up so many times when the main character of a movie or somebody's on the journey. An older person, somebody that has experience, the elder statesman, the guy that has seen it all, right? So these are all the concepts that always come up. So again, number 3, the supernatural aid. When they agree to heed the call to adventure, so they're in now, they're doing it, but they need help. The hero's guide or mentor, often magical, wise, or superhuman in some way, appears or becomes known. Crossing of the first threshold, number 4. The hero leaves their ordinary known world and enters the unknown world where their journey will take place. The hero leaves their ordinary known world and enters the unknown world where their journey will take place. So again, look, you see this diagram. The ordinary world is up top. The unknown world is at the bottom. You don't know what that is. It's the underbelly. 5. The belly of the whale, or sometimes I've called the belly of the beast. The hero completely severs their connection to the safe world they left behind. In this stage, the hero makes the commitment to fully engage with the journey and transformation of self. Remember again, number 5, belly of the whale. The hero completely severs their connection to the safe world they left behind. In this stage, the hero makes the commitment to fully engage with the journey and transformation of self. Number 6, the road of trials. The hero goes through a series of struggles, trials that test the hero's character and ability. So those are the first 6 steps, so the first 5 again are for the departure, and that 6th step is the first one to initiation. So now at 7, all right, now we're firmly in the initiation section of the hero's journey, according to Joseph Campbell. The meeting with the goddess. The hero encounters some sort of powerful love or embodiment of good. The hero must earn a connection with the quote unquote goddess. All right. That's usually where the love person comes into play. They, on their journey, they've already been initiated. They're at the bottom, and they're looking for something to cling on to, and it's usually a lady, something they love, something that keeps them going on this journey. So, the hero must earn a connection with the goddess. He needs that. He needs that earning. 8. Woman as the temptress. The hero is tempted away from the journey and ultimate reward. And so that's why the hero always has to make a decision, go this way or that way. Hercules comes to mind, the Disney movie. He has that chick. I'm blanking on her name. That was in the way of his journey. She was beautiful. He loved her. But at the same time, she was going to get him off his path. All right. So there's a fine line where you need the meeting with the goddess. You need to find that type of powerful love, embodiment of good, more symbolically than in what it means in the flesh. And, it comes from both sides, male and female. In this world, in a man's point of view, sometimes it is noted that men, sometimes they are driven by the opposite sex, women. That can be the heel to their growth because they're too worried about it, too focused on it. Because there's a balance, in marriage, you need that opposite force to help yourself and grow. That's important. But in different phases of life, if you're not in a phase of marriage and you're still in a phase of individual growth, spending energy on a person, whether it male or female, depending on, what you like, that's a distraction. And so for females, the same way. When you're messing with, males, when you need to be on your path to ascension, that can distract you. It might not take you off course, but it can slow you down. So things to put into your mind. Again, you're initiated now. You're in the throes of it. You chose to go this path. So now the the universe is testing you to see how bad do you really want this. All right. So, you want to keep that in mind. Number 9, atonement with the Father. The hero comes to terms with the realization that their parental mentor figure is mortal and flawed. The hero may have to rely on this imperfect being for help. And this is, important to bring up. Not everybody is, nobody's perfect, for one. No one's perfect. Even your heroes, the people that you look up to, your role models, all of them, they're not perfect people. They make mistakes just like everyone else. But you can learn from them in multiple different ways. You can learn from their good aspects. You can learn from their imperfections. And when you come to terms with how life is, that's when you can start molding life how you want it to be. Understand how life has played out and usually plays out, and understand that you can also make changes along the way while it's not affecting you negatively. You can't change everything in the world. So if you get that in your mind that you can't change everything in the world, you can change what's in front of you and what you have control over. That gives you power. All right. Atonement with the Father, number 9. 10. Api, hopti, number 10. Apotheosis. Apotheosis. I think I'm saying that right. The hero reaches some sort of higher understanding that equips them for the final, most difficult stages of their journey transformation. Apotheosis. 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 Something like that. Again, the hero reaches some sort of higher understanding that equips them for the final, most difficult stages of their journey transformation. So they're getting ready. They're preparing at number 10, right? At number 10, they're starting to transform. They're starting to change. They're starting to gain understanding. Okay, and this is all going to start making sense when we get into the numerical portion of it. All right. Again, we're just on Joseph Campbell's breakdown of this journey. 11. The ultimate boon. The hero achieves what they set out to do or acquires what they set out to obtain. So at 11, and symbolically, 11 has a lot of meaning in a lot of retrospects. It's a master number. It's the first master number. And so maybe that's why that's the 11th step, the ultimate boon. The hero achieves what they set out to do or acquire what they set out to obtain. They might not have ascended fully yet, but they achieved mastery at 11, the master number. And so now that's the end of the initiation. When you finish the initiation, you completed what you set out to do. So that's why it's done. And so now we get into the third section of the hero's journey, the return. So now, number 12, refusal of the return. The hero is reluctant to leave their magical world and return to their ordinary world. So what happens sometimes is, and I forget the quote, it's easier to enter a world than it is to leave. And that could be, in any type of concept, magically, physically, spiritually, emotionally. When you enter a new space, obviously there's work to get there. But when you've ingratiated yourself into that space, it's hard to leave. In a real world example, you have undercover cops, undercover detectives, where they have to initiate themselves in the underworld, in the world of crime, to get close with the criminals they're trying to arrest and get in the higher ups. So they enter the world, they get initiated, but they're so deep into the world, when it's time for them to get out, it's tough for them to get out because that's all they know. That's all they were trained to do, and they were trained to be the best, actor possible for their role, for the greater good of the community. But it's tough to get out now because they took it so seriously, and that happens a lot with private investigators, undercover cops, and stuff like that. And obviously it's tough to get out when you have criminals that you've been associating with, you've done business with. And so that's another thing you have to deal with. Not only the mental and emotional aspect, you have the human aspect. You enter the world. It's not going to be that easy to get out. You can't just close Pandora's box. Once Pandora's box is open, it's really tough to close. All right. And so for the final stages, the third section of the hero's journey per Joseph Campbell, we have 13. The magic flight. The hero realizes they must return to their community and bring their enlightenment boon back. The hero may have to escape and receive supernatural assistance to return. You need help to get back into the ordinary world. You have to get help from the ordinary people in that world, Um, so the hero might have to escape and receive supernatural assistance to return. And so that goes back to my undercover cop thing. They need help, supernatural assistance. It's not so easy just to go back to normal life with what you know or what you've acquired now. 14, rescue from without. The hero may be too weakened physically or mentally to return with the boon and must be retrieved by someone from the ordinary world. That's why it's important to have friends, have loved ones, people who care about you, who are willing to help you in your time of need. 15, the crossing of the return threshold. The hero reconnects with the ordinary world and must discern some way to keep their boon and integrate their new knowledge into the way that the old world functions. The crossing of the return threshold. Let me read that one more time. The hero reconnects with the ordinary world and must discern some way to keep their boon and integrate their new knowledge into the way the old world functions. So now they have to figure out a way with their new knowledge, their new achievement, whatever they acquired. How can we work this into the world that I once knew? 16, master of the two worlds. The hero understands and is able to balance the separation between the two worlds, often in some material or spiritual sense. The hero bridges the gap that seems to exist between how they began and how they have returned. So it's that balancing act, bridging the ordinary world, the unknown world, and how can you now coexist? All right. And 17, freedom to live. Mastering the two worlds leads to the hero's release from fear of death. This allows them to live without fearing their past or future. So that's the final step. You finally reached ascension. You understand the boundaries. There's really no boundaries now from the world you once knew to the world you became to know into the world you came back to. Now they're ingratiated into one. Mastering the two worlds leads to the hero's release from fear of death. This allows them to live without fearing their past or future. And so that's Joseph Campbell's 17 Stages of Hero's Journey. Again, his book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces. It's is relatively old. It's almost 100 years old. I think it's about 90 something years old. I have to recheck that up, but it's standing the test of time, and a lot of the stories and structures and pillars that it goes over, it rings true, and it's been ringing true for thousands of years.